Well, you probably clicked on this video expecting a lot of art. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not here to be disappointed. I'm going to show you every piece of art that I currently own. That means the paintings that I've sold or given away, I will not be showing you. Only things are in my hands, or on my shelves, or on my walls. It might be a long one, guys, but it's more for myself and for future people who want to authenticate my work potentially. This might be a great resource. I'm also going to be showing off my works in progresses. Some I don't even intend to finish. Everything that I ever painted will be included in this. I'm expecting around 350 to 450 paintings. I really don't know how many there's gonna be, but I'll let you know at the very end, I guess. I'll be making this video as long as we go. I'll show off a few of my big pieces first. Let's start this off with a bang, and then we'll get into some of the smaller pieces, because there's a lot of quantity and not a lot of time. We're running out of time already. This is a painting I call Carp. It is 4 feet tall, 3 feet wide. It was the biggest piece I painted on. It was tied for the biggest piece I painted on when I painted it first. Hi, Squanchy. That's my cat. He's hungry. You want me to feed you? Okay, I gotta go feed Squanchy. You can hear Squanchy eating. Anyway, this is an oil on canvas. It's the first one of scale that I tried. I learned a lot from this piece. By the way, all my art is for sale, but I'm not a motivated seller, especially with something like this. I love it. Well, I'm a hoarder too. It's going to be hard to sell it when it's time. This painting is a nude, obviously. It's my friend Tisha Atkinson. Is that how you pronounce her name? Never actually said it out loud. I'm friends with her on Facebook. I see all her posts and like them. This is a piece I really love, and might be one of the first pieces I'll try to sell on my Etsy. I'm going to put a huge price tag on it, because you don't see pieces of art like this. It's oil on canvas. I'm not sure the size of this. I think it's 12 by 16. I recently just moved, and I think this is the only other painting that is hanging up. Everything else is, like, stored away at the moment. The next couple of paintings I'll be showing you are all hanging up as well. But, they're ones I painted here when I was visiting home before I moved back home. I apologize for the lighting in here. It's not the best. This is just hanging up by my fireplace. I think I hung it up here to dry. But I painted this several years ago, and it's just been hanging here. I moved in. It's part of my collection now. It's a cat face on an ear of corn. There's like a little bird in the corner there, and some funky mountains or something. I don't even know what I was painting here. It was one of those exercises. Just painting for the purpose of painting. I think that'll be a theme very quick in this video. This one is 12 inches by 12 inches oil on canvas. Bad lighting again on this one. This is another 12 inch by 12 inch oil on canvas. I painted it around the same time as the other one. Hi, Squanchy. And I think it's a sperm. A blue alien romantic sperm. And it's got some shapes in there. I don't know if I'm particularly proud of this one. I'm here just to show off all my art, you know. The background there, beside the pink, is very mucky. I was just playing with colors. I painted a lot of these alla prima, which means wet on wet. And if you notice, I never signed this one. I must not have been finished. But as my painting evolved, I started signing my paintings less and less. This painting I actually didn't paint all that long ago. It was one of the last trips I made home before I moved back full time. There's a bit of a motif here of two people, a black person and a white person. I wanted to paint the background. I was excited about that for this one. And I outlined everything in either red or blue. Man, my cat sure is meowing a lot. He's like, hey, we're talking now. This one's also a 12-inch on 12-inch. This one isn't a part of a series. I guess it is a part of a series of bigger ones. We'll get to that in a little bit. Alright, this is a work in progress. It is currently my work in progress, the one I am working on most. It's not small. It's 4 feet wide. It is 6 feet tall. And oil on canvas. I've been painting this for about a month now. It's no joke. Reminds me of that old idiom, go big or go home. Well, I'm at home and I'm going big. And I'm really proud of this one, even though it's not done. I'll make a video about it exclusively a little bit later when it's done, I think. I haven't been filming the progress of the painting like I often did in the past with all my paintings. I've been doing a lot of painting not on camera, and it's been good for me. Anyway, let's move on. I have a couple more works in progress to show you. This is a 12 by 16, also a work in progress. It is oil on canvas. I've been painting it a little bit here and there. What am I trying to say? I only started a couple weeks ago, and I'm not trying to get it finished. I hope to get it finished around the same time I get the big one finished, but it's the same image, just a smaller representation of it. Another work in progress to show you. This one is... Oh, I didn't measure it again. Damn. How big is this? It is 16 inches by 20. 16 by 20. It's a self-portrait, a work in progress. There's no real rhyme or reason for this. I'm just working on it slowly. These are some colors from the other image. I've been painting that big cat image almost exclusively. And this one is just out, constantly being worked on. Let's see. I have a couple more. I have a lot of works in progresses, but a lot of them are put away. But these are the ones that are out and out being worked on. I have 2 more that are kind of out and ready to be worked on. Let's get to those next. I'll call this one a work in progress, but it's not really a work. It's a garbage can. Every time I'm done with an oil color, I'll scrape it off my palette and I'll put it on this piece of canvas. It was inspired by the walls of Lucian Freud in his working studio. I'm like, man, that's really cool. That's a lot of paint. Every time he was done with some paint, he just put it on the wall, and it was a thick layer of paint on the wall. So I just like, I'll just put it on a canvas. Good thing I didn't start putting it on the wall. I had to move from my apartment, and it was an apartment. I'm sure the landlords wouldn't have been so impressed. But yeah, this is a work in progress. I don't know, maybe one day I'll just stop adding paint to it and sell it or something, but I don't know. I just put gobs of paint on it earlier. I was painting away and I was painting the yellow ears, so those yellow gobs are the freshest. And yeah, don't touch this in my studio because chances are there's a lot of dry spots. You'll dry, but there's wet spots too. That's what she said. Okay, this is officially the last painting that's a work in progress. That is our official last painting that's hanging up. This one is 6 feet tall by 5.5 feet wide. It's the biggest piece I've ever attempted. It was the piece I was working on in my apartment in Prince George before I moved. And I guess just waiting for me to work on it again. But I'm taking some time off. I'm taking some time off portraits. I'm only working on that one self-portrait. This is number 1 in the series of my 8x10 cats. As you can see, there's a little bit of a black marking here. That's new. I signed the back of it and dated it because I remembered I painted this in 2009. But I also forgot I painted it with very cheap acrylics, just from the dollar store. A whole group of us were painting them. And we all got an 8x10, and this is what I painted. I wanted to paint a very abstract piece, so I painted that cat eye, and I painted the tornado, and then I ran out of ideas, so I finished painting the cat face, and I loved it. And I looked at it for years. And I never really considered painting again. I didn't consider myself an artist at the time. So I made this in 2009. It's 2022 right now, so 13 years ago. This is number 2 in the series of 100. This one has bloody eyes. I believe I did watercolors on top of this. I didn't know what to do. I still don't know what to do. I'm a self-taught artist. This was painted several years later. I couldn't give you an exact date. Let me think. It's got to be 2015 or 2016. I had some gifts of some paintbrushes, some paints, and some canvases from my sister. And this is before I decided I wanted to do 100 of these cat faces. As you can see, the nose isn't upside down in this one. But yeah, that's my motif. You see the cat nose, the face, the whiskers, and the eye. And it's kind of off-kiltered. And I painted a lot of these. This is number 3. Believe it or not, it was before I decided to paint 100. In fact, I painted the mountain range from memory and the mountain. I added a bunch of stuff. It's just a unique place to me, I guess. And then, after I was done, I added in the cat eyes and nose and whiskers and made the face. I think I had... I don't know why. I like it a lot. I think the image could have stood alone without the cat eyes. But here's to trying something new. Now it's a part of a collection. I mustache you a question. I think this is the last one I painted before I decided I was going to paint 100 of them. And around this time I would paint it, I'd paint the entire canvas orange, and then I would paint the whites of the eyes. I'd paint that oval, and then I'd paint the I guess it would be green in this one. I'd paint the pink on top of the nose, all in layers. Something I abandoned eventually. I don't know when. I think around the 20s of these. You could see I wrote my signature with a permanent marker on this one. That's funny. I could tell that. A lot of them I didn't sign at the time and wanted to sign later and just did it with a permanent marker. This one I did know was going to be a part of the cat series. I think I had the crazy idea of painting 100 when I painted this one. I almost feel like doing this one over. You can see the transparency on the yellow and the orange. I never used any pictures as references when painting. I still rarely do. Only when I'm painting portraits I seem to use references. This one is a Goth Kitty. Has like purple lipstick and big hair around it. As you can see in the top of the hair, there's some chips in the paint. You can see the orange I painted underneath. You can see I painted in layers. I wonder if I painted that eye. These were painted with dollar store acrylics. Very cheap paint, this first set of 100. I said that all my paintings are for sale, but I don't think I intend to sell these first 100 8x10s at least. The second set of 8x10 100, I already sold one of them, so I only have 99 to show. It'd be a lot easier to get that, but that's a little whiles from now. I really like the water paint. I believe this is also water paint. What I would do eventually was wet down the acrylics and use it. but... Oh, look, I even put blush under the eye. I haven't really looked at all these close up individually. I looked at them all as a group of 100. It's quite an impressive piece. It feels like these canvases have been through a little bit of damage. It looks like this one's all smudged. This looks like it's in worse shape than when I last saw it. Uh-oh. This is the first one out of the group of 100 that doesn't stand on its own, I don't think, so well. It's a part of a series. Obviously, I bet you could tell from right away, this is a Kiss face. This is Ace Frehley. I painted them all at the same time, and then I put these all, they're all in a specific order, in the order that I painted them in, except for these ones. I just had some silver paint from the dollar store. I rarely used it. It'd be funny if I might still have it. I don't use the dollar store acrylics at all. I think I threw them all out, actually. I upped my paint game. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Gene Simmons, the demon. It looks like he has seeds on his tongue like a strawberry. When I was in high school, I think, I dressed up as Kiss. I dressed up as Gene. I made a fake Gene Simmons axe, space, and woodworks class. It was just a prop. It's funny. Later on in life, I bought a Gene Simmons axe base. I found it at a garage sale for $30. It was so sweet. And then I wrecked it by accident. I tripped over the cord, not the cord, the strap that I used to carry it, and I fell down and it broke the head right off the base. Piss me off. Yeah, you can see I signed this one with a Sharpie as well. Paul Stanley. I really like Paul Stanley. I remember on South Park, the episode that they actually won an Emmy for, which was the World of Warcraft, they used a song by Paul McCartney. Paul Stanley. Ha! Paul Stanley did a solo album, and it was called Live to Win, and they used that song on the Emmy Award-winning episode of South Park. Live to win. I don't even know the words. I kind of like it. I very much on purpose put Peter Criss, the cat, as the last of the Kiss. It's number 11. When I hang these up in rows of 10, it doesn't really work too well because it's the three other members of Kiss, and Peter gets to start a new row all by himself, but I think, yeah, I don't really have too much to say about a lot of these. It's kind of hard to remember the time and place where I was when I painted these. This one I titled Sunglasses. To me, looking at it now, the sunglasses are incomplete. The top bar on the sunglasses right there is missing. This one's not too interesting to me because you can't actually see the eye. The eye is the entrance to the soul, and look, I just painted a black bar on a canvas. This one I called a pirate. It's really neat. It's got like 3 claws down its face, like it was scratched by another cat, a bent whisker. I do have a funny story to go with this. This one, in this next series of 3, the sunglasses, and this one in the next one, I started painting 10 canvases at once, and I painted them all orange. Well, not really. I painted 7 of them orange and 3 other colors, and then I started painting the eyes on them. And I was coming up with concepts, and I was super motivated this day. So much so that I strained my eyes. I was actually worried I was going blind. But I think it was a sign that I was doing something that I loved. I actually had to physically stop for my own well-being. And actually, I haven't really stopped. I've been painting all the time. I've been painting for, well, 7 years or something? I have no clue. This is a recreation of a cat I painted shortly after that very, very first cat I showed you with the tornado. I painted one. It was pretty much exactly like this, but it was bigger. It was on like a 9 by 12, I think, and I gifted it away to I was volunteering in a soup kitchen. It was a Secret Santa, so I gifted a painting of mine. What a cheap ass, huh? But I didn't really have much to give away anyway at the time, and I painted that when I was in Quebec, Montreal, when I was a part of the program Catalogue. This one is obviously, it's Ziggy Stardust, David Bowie as a cat. I put him on a gray cat. This was kind of a request from my sister to paint. Given me, I might have asked for ideas, but she is a big David Bowie stan, and she was ever since she watched the movie Labyrinth. That movie was awesome, and I guess she was just at that perfect young age, just captured her imagination. She loved it. She became a big David Bowie stan, so I did this for my sister. Love you, Kimberly. This one I call Flower Power. I think I wanted to paint those flowers on the side. I don't think they turned out too well. You could see underneath the green of the one flower, you could see a lot of the color of the flower I was going for. And the yellow is not very opaque. You could see the gray through it. I was still obviously painting layer by layer at this time. I painted her smoking a doobie and put a little headband on her. Very, it's a lucent headband. You can see her hair right through it. That's a hair on the headband. Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in this town. Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak. That's the title of this one. Yeah, just a cat face. Then I painted bars over top of it. You could see, I don't know if you can, but I could see, like, underneath this bar, you could see a bit of the whisker, where the eye was, lifted up with another layer of paint. Yeah. Self-taught artist. I learned the hard way. This one I titled Lunch. It's pretty self-explanatory. I painted a mouse and teeth, and it's all bloody. I kind of like this one. I think this one stands out as an outlier. Very, very good. I could tell I drew my signature on with a Sharpie. My signature changes. Sometimes I paint it, sometimes I drew it on, and as of recently I have stopped signing the face of the paintings. But we have a lot of signed paintings to look at today in this video, so look out for eventually when that stops. Now this is a mixture of my very first one, Tornado Cat, and the Crying Bloody Cat. I think that was the second one in this series, not the one that I created though. Hey, I could see some pencil marks under the tornado here. That's pretty neat. And I think I was still using watercolors for the dripping eyes. You can see that starting to fade away first. My great aunt was an artist. She does West Coast native art. She's credited in part by actually bringing it back. Her name was Frida Deasing. You could Google her. They named the native art school in Terrace after her. She used to teach there. So I painted this with her in mind, in the style she would have painted in, which was native art. I don't paint in this style often, mostly because I feel, well, I'm a whitey. I mean, I have native parents. Both of my parents have native blood in them, but not enough. My mom's status, Indian, so, but they don't think I am. They think I'm a whitey. Anyway, I never really knew my Aunt Frida. She died when I was very young in a car accident by herself, driving like a maniac in the snow. May she rest in peace. Maybe one day I'll learn at your school. This one's titled Silly, Has his tongue sticking out, and his eyes are crossed. This is one of the first times where the background isn't just a solid orange. It doesn't look like it's in any rhyme or reason to not look it. It just looks like it's incomplete from when I was trying to make things solid orange. But at the same time, I like it because it's showing growth. I wonder, it looks like I painted this in layers too. I painted it all orange before I painted any white. I probably didn't have any idea of what it was going to be before I started painting. I just started painting. This one, the cat is eating corn right off the cob with the big old chompers. And there's no consistency in how I painted the teeth. There's no consistency on how I paint in general, I think. I'm always constantly learning. And I'll often paint something, but then I'll disregard technique, usually. It's just putting the paint on the canvas. That's the fun part. Thinking about the images, that's where I struggled a lot, obviously. That's why I painted the same outline over and over again. This one I call Kitty Purry. I believe I painted that background with watercolors. I call this one Kitty Purry because it's I kissed a cat and I liked it. Named after Katy Perry, my cousin Katy Perry's cat, Kitty Purry. Obviously it's a female cat, I guess, because she's wearing lipstick. Not that I don't like to wear lipstick sometimes, too. Just not in the mood to right now. I really like the shines of the eye. Are the shines of the eye new? Let's see. I don't have them accessed. Yeah. I think this was also painted just in layers. This one is a commentary about how people look at their phones all the time. Nothing really new. Along my painting series, you can see I painted that cat paw in separately. Well, it was probably the last layer I painted on. I painted the background, I painted the eyes, I painted the phone, then I painted the... I like when you don't do that. That was a lot of painful work that I was doing. But I guess when you're as stupid as I am, you gotta learn the hard way when you don't pay someone to teach you. This one is number 25. This one is a Cyclops One Eyed Cat. I remember seeing a picture of a cat. It was a kitten that was a Cyclops. It only had one eye, but it also didn't have a nose. Its eye was where its nose should have been. It died very young. Very sad, but it was a very entertaining looking cat, I suppose. Hey, this one has a brown eye. I think blue eyes are more what I paint. Number 26. This one is called Sleepy Cat. I was feeling really sleepy when I wrote this. Squanchy, you okay? My cat just sneezed. I called this one the Biker. Every time I look at it, it reminds me of the YMCA. It was the Biker. I felt like I should make the others at times, but to make the Indian in today's time would be kind of bad news. You can really see a lot of damage on the tops around these. Ooh. Needs a professional artist to touch it up. This one I titled The Alien, and a wave of memories is coming back. This is the only one I painted within like a 3-month period, and it was within 2 months where I moved in with my aunt, living in the basement, and it was her daughter, my cousin, were totally mistreating me, and like, let's not get into that now. But yeah, this is the only one I painted. It does not look like a normal cat. It is an alien, and I wasn't feeling myself at the time. Yeah, a lot of memories are coming back with this one. The other two were just miscellaneous, but this one and the next one. This one I titled Ruth and Janice. Definitely shows how I feel about them. My feelings still haven't changed. They are incarnations of the devil. They are going to hell. They are not good people. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. This one is titled The Gardener, and it reminds me a lot of my mom painted it or something. I think it is in my mom's style, but I like it. I think it's really neat how the eye is like the part of the flower. This one has a lot more depth than some of the other ones, and it just has an orange background, just a lot more funky and playful this time instead of having so much anger and animosity behind it. Number 31. This is a series of paintings of smoking various objects. Well, obviously. There was a painting that could have been in the series where the cat was painting a doob earlier. But these are all in order of when I completed them. So, this one's smoking. I gave it cataracts. That's why it has cloudy eyes. That is very much intentional. That's like this cat can't see. And he's kind of old. And he's aged extra because of the cigarette smoke. I think I had plans for these series of smoking. So start with a cigarette. Go to the cigar, next logical place. What's after that? I don't even remember. But yeah. I put one of those bands around the cigar. I don't know what that is. And I put a G on it like it's going to say GP. Oh look, my signature is bleeding. That's interesting. And some smoke. I kind of like this one. I should have put a little layer of red. Like he was just taking a big puff and it was just getting lit. But hey, maybe that's just... I wouldn't paint this these days. I don't paint like I used to. This looks like a tobacco pipe to me. Must be smoking tobacco. I like this one. I like the color of the eyes. Really like smoking the pipe. I don't really like how the mouth fits around the pipe, but I'm not really nitpicking. I'm showcasing today. Oh yeah, see how the fur of the orange around is actually starting to look like a cat a little. The last one, if you want to rewind, was just like a straight up gradient. Red on the top to orange on the bottom. Kitty Purry, the one I did with watercolors, looked really good, but I started with the black canvas with that. I think this is the penultimate one. This is the final one of smoking, and it's smoking a crack pipe. I had to Google what a crack pipe looks like. I guess I haven't watched Hoarders? Not Hoarders. The one, Intervention. Intervention is a good show where they show them doing a bunch of drugs. I saw that. And look at that big lighter. Really nice. I like this one. I like how wide the eyes are. I don't like the subject of doing the crack or whatever. That's too much. The one where the cat's on oxygen after all that smoking. I bet people on oxygen still smoke through the pain. I noticed the pipe or whatever the whites is outlined in black, which is very unlike me in the style at this time. I'd do something like, I don't know if I'd do something like that now. I don't know. I don't even know what I would do now. It's kind of fun going down memory lane. This one is inspired by a popular children's novel. This particular cat is called Harry, H-A-I-R-Y, Potter, P-A-W-T-E-R, Harry Potter. No coincidences with any fictional movie book characters. I thought it was pretty clever. But also look at the bill of this one's face. That's something you never really see in my work. This one kind of stands out. Like, is this one even fake? Hey, I don't even see a signature on this one. I don't think I signed this one. Whoa. What? My last one was signed. I guess we'll have to see if my next one is signed. The next one is number 37. This is number 37 in the series. I set this one aside early on because I wanted it to be... It's Schrodinger's cat. It's what it is. It's in with the vial of poison. Obviously, the cat is dead. I meant to put this one in a cardboard box to display and just write Schrodinger's cat on it, and then you're supposed to open it up, and then you see that the cat is in fact dead and not alive. That's... they're gonna poison the cat. Oh, whatever. This one throws people off. That's a fish. It's supposed to be sticking out of its mouth, but people think it's a mustache. But those are gills. And that's fin. And cats eat fish. But you can see beyond that, there's some shininess on the nose. I noticed I didn't put any white gobs of paint on the eye to make those shines on this one. But I did the fur. And I kind of pointed out the muzzle a little bit on this one, which is kind of neat. Why, quite fancy, this one-eye figure. There's no shines of white in the eye. I guess I didn't... There was instances that we've been through already in this series, but also the circle looks like I traced something, and I didn't put any glaze, or I didn't put anything shiny on the monocle to make it shiny. Amateur hour, but that's how you show. I think you see an evolution in this series of 100, and it's kind of getting started, but then you also see a de-evolution within the same series. Like, it doesn't, like, top out at all, though, but, like, it gets better for a while, but then it all of a sudden gets worse. But it's like, that's the style kicking in a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I went to New York with a group of classmates. They were a few years younger than me because I had already graduated. I got invited to go to a trip to New York, and so I went. And we saw Phantom of the Opera, so I guess I painted this after. I went to New York in June, July of 2013. So I painted this in 2013 to put a little perspective on it. It's 2022 as I'm doing this Catalogue resume video. I really like this. There's a lot of shading attempts. I don't think the layout of the face of the mask really makes sense, but it looks neat, and the flower looks pretty neat too. Hi, Squanchy. Well, this one's just good old cute fun. That is a cat with a lollipop, and it's a pink. It's probably watermelon flavored, but look how happy! Look at that little ooh. And I was still using dollar store acrylics at this point in time, but this one has a lot of character. I'm pretty happy with this one. I cannot tell you what I was going for. I painted each of these layers one at a time, and it took forever. I spent forever on this painting. Like, I don't know if I spent... I must have spent hours, as every other one I might have spent upwards to an hour on, maybe? I don't know. I don't remember really. But this one I remember took forever. That's just because I was just painting a yellow strip, and it just got a tie-dye feel, and it's... I don't like it even. But that's probably just my memory. This one I kind of like. The cat's puking. Has a funny story. My friend thought it was her because she is an alcoholic. I like the little squiggly, squanchy looks on the nose, but of course your puke and your eyes are closed, and that is one of the more fun things I like about these paintings and the process of painting. I was painting the eyes, so when the ones like these that don't have eyes, I don't know, they're just not the same. But even though they're all part of the series, this one is supposed to be shock, but the mouth kind of gets cut off. I think I should have rounded off the corners more. I'm going to show you the sides of the painting for the first time. For all these, the sides were painted, so you can see, if I lift it up, you can see the sides of his mouth. Like, even when they're all stacked on the side, you can see all the eyes, which is really neat. Especially for this first 100, I painted the sides. I think it's almost like a wasted effort, but tomato, it's my time. I'm an artist. I think I've getting to the point where I stopped painting. I think this one. Oh look, there's a puncture on this one. Uh-oh. Jeez. Well, I guess they're kind of old and been around and not really in boxes. I guess that's what I have to do, put these in boxes. This one is titled Adolf. I think I might have actually not painted this one color at a time. Like, layers upon layers. Actually, like, paint the whites of the eyes, paint the... I don't think I drew them out, though. I might draw them out if I were to continue these series or paint another 100 of them, but I haven't lost my mind that much yet. But I mean, geez, we're still pretty early on, and this series, not even halfway. This one I absolutely adore. Those bubbles are so full of life. They actually have some depth to them. I feel like they're bubbles. They have little shinies to them. There's not even any shinies on the eyes yet. But like, this must have been a learning for me, because I look at this one and I'm like, I gotta put those white dots on every one I've ever painted now. But I know when to say when a painting's done and to move on, even though I still have them all. I haven't figured out how to sell them. I don't want to give them away. They're more valuable to me. I don't even know. I am crazy. That's why I'm an artist. Yeah, I really hit my stride on these paintings around this time. I was painting with passion and love. I still miss those dots on the eyes, but... Well, this one is Cupid. I gave him a little heart nose. And I gave him a bow and an arrow, and wow. Just that black. I actually used black paint and the yellows. Just that. It's just so vivid. I love this. Man, I'm a good artist. Sometimes. If you made it this far, that's debatable. Debate me in the comments. This one is called The Piper. It's holding a flute. I wanted to say, just before I hit record, that I did paint this in layers, but that's not true. I don't think I painted the eyes over top of the orange background, but I think at this point I was starting to paint each cat without the idea to make them unique. So this one, I painted the background and everything, then I painted the flute, then I painted the hands, so I had to paint the hand over the flute. And, yeah, there's a lot of paint there, just to paint layer over layer. So I remember this one, because it was also, and I held it up to the light to see, held up to the light behind it, to see if I could see anything from behind. And I could see that I started off with a smaller nose, and I made the nose bigger. And that's the way artists can authenticate real work as opposed to fakes, as the works have been worked on. changed by the artist. It was a living painting at one point. Alright, who doesn't love Pokemon? And of course you know which Pokemon is in this ball. It's not Pikachu, and it's not Bulbasaur, but it is Gen 1. Guess it in the comments, and we'll work something out. I'll probably paint something for you, maybe give you a digital painting, do a portrait of you. Of course, I'm probably joking. You'll probably be typing Pokemon in the comments. You gotta guess the Pokemon and then give the timestamp of when this painting is, and then you're gonna say which Pokemon is in it, and then I'm probably gonna tell you no, because you're gonna be wrong, because you don't know, but I know which Pokemon is in this. It's not Pikachu and it's not Bulbasaur, but it's Gen 1. This one's called Peekaboo. You could see that I painted the paw over the eye, and I didn't do the greatest job because you could still see the green underneath both of the irises under the paws. So that's not a good shine. Not too proud of this one with that fact. Other than that, it looks pretty good. Priceless. Worthless? You be the judge. Live, love, cat. My roommate gave me this idea. It was a play on the live, love, laugh. But, so I guess I just painted a regular cat and wrote on top of it. This is what I was at least giving a little bit of effort into the orange to the fur of the cat. The boots with the fur and the apple bottom jeans. Merca. I painted this one with just a flag, and it was just a black and white picture of an American flag. And that's all I painted. And then a year or so later, when I was halfway done, I had this 8x10 canvas with this American, and I just painted the cat face on it, and I was like, boom, done, another one in the bank. This one is called Joke Glasses. It's just one of those novelty noses. It's a human nose. This one got damage on it. It's authentic cat damage. A cat scratched this one. But why only this one, I don't know. Well, remember back when I painted all those Kiss ones? Well, I wanted to do the other two Kiss designs that came when when Ace Frehley and the drummer, the cat, left. This is the fox. I believe it was Eric Carr, if I'm not mistaken. And these ones, the eyes are painted brown, but the other ones, all their eyes were I think they were shaded the color of the associated member of Kiss. So I think Gene's was like red or purple. Paul was purple, Ace was blue, and the Catman was green. And this one is Vinnie Vincent's design, the guitarist. He's the only person that had a different persona. After that, like with Tommy Thayer now, they just have the original OG Spaceman design, and they have the Catman design. Hi, Squanchy. This one is called Nature Walk. It's got a big branch on it with some leaves. That's what's going on about this one. Nice green eyes. Notice there's no little white shinies. The little glares in the eyes. I guess that really isn't a part of my style there now, is it? But it comes and goes. I'm talking about it forever. Where is one now? Jeez. The 00 Cat. This one is inspired by James Bond with that golden pistol from I don't know what movie. It was in the video game on the Nintendo 64. Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo. In my last video, I sang a 007 song, but it changes the lyrics. It goes like this now. a chicken pot pie, instead of how it used to go, live and let die. This one is called Clown. It kind of has a clown, red muzzle, and red or yellow triangles and blue cat things. I think that's very similar to another clown I've painted a couple times. I guess we'll get to seeing that when we get to seeing that. I can't promise when. But yeah, this is that would be my clown face. I don't put it on my own face yet. And look, I made his nose bigger. You can see it. Let's see if I can see it in the camera lens. Yeah, it used to be more narrow there. It used to be more narrow, and I widened it out later, and it didn't cover up so well. Interesting. I titled this one Picasso, and it's not really inspired by any particular Picasso piece, but just like the essence of a certain era of Picasso. Maybe? No, I don't even think so. It's just wrong. This has nothing to do with Picasso. I just hastily named it Picasso, but it's just a cat with an effed up face. Nothing too much to say about this one. This one has a lot of feeling to it. I look at this one and I feel sad. That's what I titled this painting. Yeah, I really feel it. I'm feeling a bit of sadness throughout my life as an adult. And just a part of life, I guess. You gotta live with it. You gotta fucking smarten up and be a man about it. Life sucks. But I guess I could paint cats. Then it's not so bad. This one is Bloody Mary. If you could see, this is painted the reverse. Normally the eye would be, this full eye would be off to the side, and this eye would be in the middle, and the nose would be over here. And obviously I wrote Bloody Mary on it backwards. I even signed my signature backwards, which is kind of unique on this one. I like it. And yeah, it's got that kind of fur feel. Sherlock Holmes. This character is in the public domain. I wrote a little story about Sherlock Holmes once. It was funny. Look at the shininess on the magnifying glass. Ooh, I like it. My sister's a big fan of Sherlock Holmes. I think in particular the Benedict Cumberbatch. Or is his name Benadryl Cucumber Patch? That one has Martin Freeman as his sidekick. I called this one Speak No Evil. Doesn't seem to fit in with any of them in line. But there was one earlier where the cat was covering its eyes, and that could have been See No Evil. And I don't know if there's a Hear No Evil. This one might just stand alone. This one's called Brushing Teeth. Remember to brush your teeth, kids? You could tell I painted the toothbrush and then painted the paw over top of it, and then I painted 1,000 layers here trying to cover up the toothbrush, and I never did. That's what you get for using dollar store acrylic craft paint, which I did forever. I did eventually get good paint, and I'm forever getting better paint, actually. I'm just, the more successful you are, the better paint you could afford. To get like a tube of Old Holland artist quality paint, which is like a 60 milliliter tube, or was it 30 milliliter? I think it was 40 milliliters. It was $70 Canadian, and they still wanted money to ship it to me. And to get the Winsor and Newton 200 milliliter, well, it's a student quality. I want to get the artist quality. That cost me about $25 per tube. But to get the artist quality is going to cost me anywhere from $50 to $100 a tube. This one I called Ying Yang, obviously for the Ying Yang symbol. It has as its background. I don't really like how that one whisker is just the same paint as the black paint. I should have put a layer of white over top of the black to get the third top whisker to stand out a little bit more. Maybe the shading around the eyes. I don't know. But look how imperfect those circles are. That's pretty crazy. I think at the time I'd be more precise and try. I did tracings of circles. I'm surprised I just went so freehand and let such a sloppy circle go by. At that time, doing it now is something I would do. But yeah, I guess maybe I would do it back then too. Maybe will I do it tomorrow? I don't know. Maybe I'll trace something again. Pretty good at circles. First you do is you draw this face, and then you erase some of the finer details, and then bing bang boom, one of them circle things. This one I absolutely adore. It's just an eye. It's as close up as an eye as it could get. And it still has the motif of the orange corners around it, so it's the orange cat. And look at the white shinies. Look at the white shinies. What's this? It's a piece of dirt there. That's a neck. Okay, but yeah. This is a piece that is pretty nice. I wish I switched to using better paints before, but hey. This one I titled Sadly Positive. I guess the cat isn't too happy about being pregnant. I just drew a plus side. I never had to take a pregnancy test. I don't get pregnant. I never impregnated anybody either. I don't know if that's... What a sad brag. I really like the colors. This one really pops. I've let a lot of the reds and yellows just stand alone, not mixed up too orange. This has a lot of expression and feel in it. I call this one +1. It's really cute. It's got a cat. It's very aggressive with that tooth, like he's biting its head. It's more should be biting the back of its neck. Shouldn't be able to see its mouth, but I really like it. I like that little small kitty on it. Reminds me of some of my other pieces I did. I painted a lot of cats in my days. Jeez, I'm somewhat of a cat artist. 69, dudes! Think I'd have something planned for number 69, but this is a very lazy, uninspired one. I literally traced my key for my house at the time, and I made it its nose. And then it's just a regular cat on top of that. And I could tell I painted this one orange, and then painted all the layers on top of it. And I lazily put yellow stripes around. Those are some pretty lazy paint strokes if I've ever seen them or put them down. But you know, it adds a lot to it, I think. But I think maybe we're starting to see the de-evolution of the art. This is a pretty neat one. If it looks like there's a broken vinyl on it, that's because there is. I painted this cat, and then I went to my favorite record store, Second Thoughts in Prince George. Shout out. And I bought a cat-themed record. And the first one I found was Eye of the Tiger, which was perfect for this. And then I took it home, and then I smashed it, I think with a stick. And as you can see, a part of the vinyl is missing. This part up here to complete the inner circle. I left that out just because it was covering up too much of the painting. I wanted to see the eye. So, but yeah, that's the vinyl. That's what I do. Respect your elders and beat them with a stick. Wait, don't do that. And just like that, I got another one out. And boy, do I have so much to say about this one. What can I not say? Well, I have to really edit myself out because I have so many things to say. And the first thing is that you never, ever, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, and no matter who you're with, cat lives matter. This is a play on Black Lives Matter. Black lives do matter. All lives don't matter. I do not care about all lives. Pedophiles. They don't matter. Assholes. There's plenty of people who I hate. But cats. Cats' lives matter. And Black lives matter. This one is Paint Your Own Cat. Paint by numbers. A play on the play by numbers. I actually painted the canvas an off-white, so it's not just a rare blank canvas. This completely has paint over the whole thing. And yeah, made a little legend there. I think this one's hilarious. Paint by numbers. It kind of stands out and stands alone. Here comes the sun, rootin' tootin'. I like those birds flying off in the distance. I really should have painted the background blue, made it just a full-on sky image, but I like the clouds. It's very much like what a kid would paint, and I'm proud of that. Picasso, it took him 4 years to paint like Rembrandt, and it took him his entire life to paint like a kid. I hope to paint like a kid too someday, but I hope it doesn't take me my whole life. The Space Shuttle. Look how big that eye is, and how the color is so different. Obviously, the background is a space shuttle being shot into space. I think I was listening to the podcast, the Chris and Jen show. Chris and Jen Alex. I'm fans of both their work from when they worked with Film Cow. This one didn't really have a name. This is just something I used to do. I would squiggle a few lines around so they all crisscrossed, and then I'd color in some areas and some other areas, and it looked pretty neat. So I thought I would do it with this cat, and it was kind of supposed to be a cross between an orange cat and a gray cat, and the swatch goes over its eye. I thought it was pretty neat. I used to paint a lot on a table, and when I did, there'd always be these outlines of paint around it, and it looked pretty neat, I thought. And so I started putting down canvases and painting on them. This one I don't think was that. I painted it orange, and then I took a canvas and started painting some colors around it, and emulating that natural effect that I'd have when I was naturally creating. And then when that dried, I painted just my regular cat face on top. Signed it, called it a day. This one is named Face Tattoos. I think I was thinking of the tattoo artist Kat Von D from LA Ink. It was her. I think she has more face tattoos, but it was her stars in particular that I went for this one. I like the shade of green blue. It's kind of like has a light. It's a blue and it has a little bit of yellow mixed into it and a lot of white to make it that shade. I probably just used that paint straight from a tube, right from the craft bottles from the dollar store of paint. What's the deal with all these cat faces? Doesn't this guy like to paint anything else? The original idea for this one was to put an actual clock face into it. Just paint the 12-6-3-9 to and then cut a hole in the middle and put a clock motor on there and some hands. But I never got around to it, and I needed ideas and I wanted to paint, and I was going to leave it set at 420 anyway, so I did. I made that decision. This cat is playing a saxophone. I never used the saxophone as a reference. I wonder how close it is. I think it exemplifies saxophone. Every time I see this, I imagine him playing. I can barely whistle. Heading down to Baker Street. and you know it's gonna be another rainy day, but you're going anyway and barking life away. I think this one is kind of self-autobiographical. I used to smoke with a bong nearly exclusively for years. Quite recently I switched to joints. No reason. I think the reason is my bong broke. Ha! That would explain it. But, yeah, that would be me. And sometimes I'd blow the smoke out of my nose. Sometimes it would hurt, though. I wouldn't do that often. But you feel like a dragon breathing smoke. I started off making a noise. And then it just got out of hand. Well, this one doesn't have any whiskers. It has 3 noses, and it has eyes for whiskers, 6 eyes. Very trippy. I really like this one because it has just a little black dot above its eye there. Boink! Gives it so much character. It just feels so cool. And it has a little bit of tinge underneath the chin of yellow. I think this one's kind of neat. It has a little bit of, I think it went for style a lot instead of the realism. I think the de-evolution is full on in progress here. Acid Melt is the name of this one. I just emptied paint from the tube. I just kind of went with the orange. Made some big green blobs for the irises, big white ones for the whites. 2 different shades of pink apparently for the nose, and the whiskers and the mouth were outlined. And then I tilted it up. I didn't even watch it. I showed it to my roommate and I was like, "Hey, look at this!" And it started melting. He's like, "Whoa, stop it right there!" And I stopped it, and that's what it ended up drying and looking like. It's kind of a melt. It's kind of a pour. It's the closest thing to a pour paint that I've ever done. This one's the drummer. He's got a headband, got 2 sticks, has sticks will travel. He'll drum with you. He'll play anything. He'll play country. He'll play rock and roll. He's the cat drummer from hell. Coming soon to a theater near you. This is a ladybug on a cat's face. The scale, the skew of this painting is not perfect like the other ones. It's a little bit off. Trying things a little bit daring. I put a dot right on its nose. Birthmarks, I guess. Because I liked it on that earlier painting. Or, chances are, I could have dropped a paintbrush on there and just like, well, happy little accidents. Thank you, Bob Ross. Much love, brother. Hello. This was one I started, and I wrote scene number 37 on it. And I was like, wait, that should have been painting number 37. So the only way I could really easily fix it was make it into an 8. I think it's pretty neat how it made it look like the chalk, like that color of paint between the 87 and the 1 looks like it was erased on it with a piece of chalk. This is obviously number 87 out of my 100 cats. I think I sat on this one for a while until it was time to have number 87. Then I finished it then. This one was a work in progress, but completed in succession. This one's another favorite of mine. I bought some stencils for no particular reason, and then I started writing vulgar things with it. You'll see some art a little bit later on in this video, where there's bigger pieces, where I just did it with the same stencils and everything. And yeah, I really, really like this one a lot. My grandma, I should tell it on, when my grandma saw one very similar with this, with all the vulgarity to it, and she liked it on my Facebook before she passed away. And my dad was like, well, she is going senile. Not even the case. It was funny. Well, I don't know if it's immediately apparent, but by the title of this, when I say what the title of it is, maybe it'll make sense. This one's called Finger Painting. I finger painted this, and, well, I guess that's that. It just looks kind of childish. It's probably one of the most plainest ones. Did I even do a plain one? I don't even remember. There's so many of these. Where's the time gone? Old El Paso. Yes, what if we make the bottoms of the taco square? Ooh, do square taco shells. You see, I put a lot of cheese on that taco, topped with lettuce. I think the red, it's got to be a tomato. Maybe it's some salsa. There's some hamburger. It's loaded. These cat, you got a little something there. You got one. My friend had a story where she had a booger, and so I painted this one. And such a simple idea. It's got a little boogie. This is a Clockwork Orange Cat. It should be pretty obvious. It wouldn't be obvious to me. I haven't even seen a Clockwork Orange. I was crushing on this girl. It was her favorite movie, so I painted the cat in the series. Just living my life. Maybe I should watch A Clockwork Orange. Breakfast time. That's a big old flapjack in the corner there with some butter on it. Got a sunny side up egg, couple sausage links, and a big old piece of bacon. Yum. Yum. This is such a really brilliant idea. It kind of goes with another painting. I'm sure it'll show up eventually with... I don't know where it is. That's another reason why I'm doing this video, just to go through all my paintings so I know where they all are. But I did one with, it was a pancake plate, and it was 2 sunny side eggs, and they're broken, but the yolks were running, and it looked like it was crying, and the bacon on it was in a frowny face. We'll get to that when we get to that. Number 94. Call this one Vertical Smile. Well, that's a vagina. I spent a lot of time looking at pictures, but it wasn't for the art piece, just what I like to do. Yeah, my friend came up with a name for this one, which I like it better. She saw it once and she called it a pussy cat. I was like, fuck, that's genius. We're at number 95. We're at the point where we're at the final 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, there's 5 more after this. Well, this one is awesome. This is a play on 21st century... No, wait. That's just the name of the song from the album. That's what I named this cat piece, after this name. It's 21st Century Schizoid Cat. Wow, now, wow. Even I see a lot of work went into this. There's some different shades along the throat. I tried to emulate the colors of the face of the man and made it into a cat. I think this one really kind of works. This one's one of my favorites. And this is probably one of the reasons why I probably will never sell one of these original 100. This is a very steampunk one. My friend wanted to make one where the cat was welding. So that's what I did. But I didn't want to do like a typical welder mask because that covers up the whole face. It could have been just anybody. I needed the cat. So I gave him the steampunk looking goggles that could be used that was welding. But I wouldn't. Anytime I've ever welded, I use the full face mask. But I really like this. Yeah, I was really milking. I think I painted this one on the radio. I made a film of it too, but I can't believe just sitting there babbling on the radio about me painting. It's just like breaking new frontiers. Like, wait, this is a waste of time. Gone Bowling is the name. There's a bowling ball in the corner, and in the eyes you could see a reflection of a set of pins. the paint isn't applied any necessarily better, but just that idea of having the reflection of the pins is genius. I could see, well, I knew I had a lot of time. I spent like 6 months in between painting number 94 and painting number 100. I had a lot of life happening in between these ones. This one is a cat that seen better days. It's a self-portrait of me when I had bruises on my face. I was out with a girl and my friend kind of cock-blocked me, I guess. I don't think I had any chance. But yeah, felt really shitty, and I was really drunk, really depressed at the time. And I induced self-harm. I wouldn't recommend it. I just kind of wanted to look on the outside how I felt on the inside at the time. Yeah, sometimes these paintings go to real dark places. And it's such a negative, but I mean, it's a part of life. At least it was for me. Yeah, I painted this one in the bathroom, looking in the mirror. I think I might have made a video about it too. I don't know. This is number 99. I named it Should Be Number 2 because, as you can see, its nose is upside down. This is also a recreation of one that I painted. I talked about it earlier. I think this is an early recreation. I don't think I painted this in 2009, but I painted it in 2010 or 11. They were having I think it must have been 2010. They were having an art in the park in Kitwanga here, and I wanted to I had that other cat face, so I went and bought some canvases and painted a few more. The other one didn't survive. This one I gave to my sister so she could auction it off with some stuff for her fundraising trip. But either she thought it wasn't worth auctioning off or she wanted to keep it. So I found it in amongst her stuff after she moved out, and I just took it back. She was fine with it, I guess. Well, she used to we used to live together. There's some marks here. Those are holes from a cat again. That is like a childhood cat of mine. I must have been, well, not really. I was an adult when I painted this. Jeez, I'm not a kid. I'm 30 years old now. Jeez. Number 100! I made it the GP Does Cat. That was my logo for my YouTube for a bit. We've made business cards at one point. That was neat. Maybe I should do it again. GP Does, baby. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Well, it's not over yet. I thought we'd take a little break, catch our breath. That was a lot of paintings to look at. Like, how long has it been? An hour and a half, maybe? I'm not too sure. I didn't do the last batch of, I'm guessing an hour and 10 minutes. Instead of just, like, hopping right along. I was thinking about finishing off the first art show, but that'd be too much work. And we'll just get to those paintings when we get to them. A lot of them were sold. Some were gifted. There was 40 more paintings, and I think I sold 5 or so. So I still have 35 from the first art show done exclusively with acrylic paints. The majority of my second show. Majority? I would say actually about 50-50, because at the 50-way mark of the second set of 100 paintings was when I switched to oil. And the big masterpiece that I showed you, Carp, that was from the second art show. I have a big masterpiece that same size from the first show that was done with acrylics. They were done with good acrylics. They weren't done with the dollar store paints because I had a gift of good acrylics. And there was a short period. I think the second set was all painted with good acrylics. No dollar store for the second set of 100. But I think we'll wait a little bit before we get into those 8x10s. the second set at least. I think I'm going to do the... I'm going to go through specifically the flat canvas boards. There's a lot to go through. I really hope I don't get to the end and there's like 2 paintings I have in mind, but I have no idea where they are. They have to be there. And if they're not, I don't know what to do. There's only 2 ever paintings that I ever destroyed, you know. I destroyed 2 paintings for emotional reasons. Yeah. I was painting a potential album cover for my friend Lou and Carl. But they kind of pissed me off because they wanted me to take a photograph for them. And I was super stoked to take this photograph for them. And then I came home from work one day and they had the photograph done. And they took it with my camera. It's just like, my camera's living a life of its own now. It felt very intrusive. I was pissed off a lot. So I ripped up that painting. It was a work in progress. The second one I did on camera, actually. On a little update not long ago, I painted a portrait of a girl that she ghosted me. And I wasn't too impressed. So, I guess if you ghost me, I'll wreck your painting. Ha! Unless you get it in your hands first. I would have gave it to her. But, well, there's no chance of that happening now. We'll come across that painting eventually too. I kept it. I painted over it white and I started painting somebody else's portrait, which I didn't complete. Another one of my many works in progress. How were those cats? Was that palatable to sit through? Too bad I'm not like releasing this in segments. I'm all releasing it all at once. But it is what it is. I'm gonna look if I put my leg up like this. Just hanging out in my painter's studio, looking at a camera, which I would normally be looking at a painting, like the one behind me. I had a story to tell. Story time. Remember that Seinfeld painting that I did with the TV? TV for eyes. And it had Seinfeld logo on it written backwards, like he was watching the TV. I used to have an entire set of DVDs of... It was a box set of Seinfeld. It was my pride and joy. I bought it for sale. It was used. I love that show. I love that show, Seinfeld. And just one day, it disappeared. Ooh, it still pisses me off just to think about it. So the culprits could have been a friend of mine who used to come. His girlfriend would beat him up, and he'd come over and try it, and he'd steal my Band-Aids. It's pretty weird. Nothing to do with that guy anymore. That was pretty funny, though. I think he might have stole my Seinfeld DVDs. But it's just as equally as plausible to me that it was the pizza delivery guy. It makes me seem extra crazy. Wait, I am extra crazy. I'm an artist. But that's beside the point. Or it might be the entire point. I'm not sure. But 2 days before they were missing, I ordered pizza, and I was watching Seinfeld, because what else do you do with fucking a lifetime and nothing else to do? Fucking watch some TV. I eventually got onto Netflix watching The Office, but before I started watching it on Netflix, I was watching The Office on DVD because I didn't have any Seinfeld DVDs anymore. And even if I did get them back, I don't know if I'd watch it again. Too many painful memories. So the pizza guy was like, hey man, fucking watching Seinfeld? I love that show. And then the next night, the night of the disappearance, I ordered pizza again. Like, I ordered pizza 2 days in a row, big deal. You don't get to this weight by accident. It's a goal. Just kidding. It's a lifestyle. Anyway, where was I? Wait, I can't hear you. Right. So I was at the second night, the pizza delivery guy. I wasn't watching Seinfeld, and he's like, what, you're not watching Seinfeld tonight? He said, and I thought, hey, maybe I should watch Seinfeld. So I did. And then I finished the night, I know this, on season 5, disc 1, because it was in my DVD player, and I went to bed. And when I woke up in the morning, I was going to watch the next disc, but my Seinfeld DVDs were not there. And I thought it was my roommate. I was like, did you move my Seinfeld DVDs? He didn't even touch them. Ripped up my house. They're gone. This is the first time that I ever had anything really stolen from me. I think I should be lucky, considering. Let's hope it's a one-time thing. Some people lose their whole lives. I lost that and a sweater. If the sweater didn't go missing that night, I would be 100% convinced it was the pizza delivery guy. But because the sweater also went missing, I think it was my friend who got beat up by his girlfriend, got beat up that night, came to my house, came in like I was sleeping, grabbed my sweater because he was cold, and I think he must have grabbed the Seinfeld DVDs. I think it might have been both of them. I think he was coming, and he's like... And he met the pizza guy at the place, and he's like, oh shit, I was going to rob this guy. He's like, no, me too. And they both came, and he got the sweater, and the pizza guy got the Seinfeld DVDs. But he didn't get Season 5, Disc 1. But, anyway, that's my origin story. That's why I'm an artist now. The next thing we're going to look at, we're still going to be looking at the table, because we're looking at small paintings. I don't know how we're going to look at some of the bigger ones. I'm going to have to hang up each one in between takes. But anyway, too much showing you how the sausage is getting made. More sausage. We need to look at more sausage. Yeah, we'll be looking at anywhere from 5x7s on the small side, to, I think, 12x16 are on the big side. I got a big old stack of paintings. I think that'll be this next section. Thanks so much for watching, hanging out with me, man. Remember to be subscribed and shit. You're already subscribed. You wouldn't be watching this video and not be subscribed, would you? This is an 8x8. It's on a stretched canvas. Everything we've looked before was either on a stretched canvas or loose canvas. But moving forward after this, it'll be on canvas board. This is a palette knife. I think it's a speed painting. I didn't palette knife my signature. So it's not entirely. There's a big gob of paint right there. This is an 8x10. It's a night sky with 2 giant ladybugs dancing on it and a little goose. I think it is a male mallard down in the corner. A very specific sky that is the night sky with the stars and some hills. This is in 6x8. That's broken vinyl on canvas board. Purple on the background. This one is another broken vinyl on canvas. The background is painted just a regular blue sky. The sun there is in the background, but it could also be kind of interpreted into the beast's head. The broken vinyl itself, I believe this right here is a leg. That's a leg. 2 back legs. It's a Pokemon. Which Pokemon is it? This one speaks volumes. It's a 5x7. It's a night sky. Got some pine trees there, silhouetted. And there's a pair of scissors. That's right, that is a pair of scissors. This one is just a painting exercise with just some shapes and colors. More just the exercise of painting that day. I didn't really have a finished image in mind. And I don't think you could tell that there was one when I tried to paint this. But it's kind of neat. Pretty neat little small piece by me. An early piece. None of these are dated. Nothing. This is a cabin with a nice different colors of shades of grass and a nice rainbow. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue. And then what is that? It should just be purple. But there's supposed to be an indigo and a violet. And that was my attempt at an indigo and a violet. And a bird floating in the sky. And the barn is like... it's just so... I tried. It's just from my imagination. But there's no like... I don't know what to say. It's just like whoever built that cabin didn't have a level. Here's another 5x7. It's a beautiful horse. This nice lustrous mane there. Got hooves. It's got that horse nose and some horse-like teeth. And some ears. It's not a dog. It is not a dog. It has the same cabin as last time. And a rainbow. With the indigo and the violet attempt. Ooh. This is the first painting that I've come across while filming this. And I'm like, maybe I should just leave this one out. But that would be disingenuous. I'm showing everything. This is a valley. It looks like it's incomplete. What I should do is put a little stump in the middle. And then have a fairy boy playing an ocarina with a bunch of animals around it. And Link in the background with a shovel digging out the same ocarina. Genius. But anyway, I probably won't do that. This is, I stopped painting it, and I have no intention to really ever think about it again. I like this one a lot. I played with some stencils, and there's some spackle on top of it with the blacks and a really browny orange. And then there's like a really faded green in the background. But the letters I picked are very specific. It's a joke from The Office. It's when, okay, here's the joke. Aaron was making a little puppet to ask out Andy on a date. And then it had a little cutaway gag with Kevin. He's like, I like the puppet, but maybe if it could teach us like some letters or something. Like A B, Elemento, P, F, and I think that's where just, I believe that's, I might have missed one. Elemento, P, I don't even know what I'm talking about. This one is just more I had to paint that day. Just rough colors rubbed in. I put the F and the U with stencils, and that white is just kind of splattered on it, and there's a couple just jabs of purple. Must not been feeling so great this day, even the dark tones of this piece. This is a raven, I think. I painted it. I couldn't even tell you. I think it's a raven. It could be a crow. There's a couple little houses down there. They look like they're log cabins. And just some open sky. I attempted this style. I'd call it West Coast native art. Mostly because it's in my blood. I have a cousin named Don Yeoman. He's a native artist like this. He's made some totem poles. And Frida Deasing, like I talked about earlier, is my aunt, my great aunt. And yeah, I have great respect for this style. And so much so, I will... Hi, Squanchy. Keep this. Well, I probably won't be attempting this style very much, is what I'm saying. This is an 8x10 stretched canvas. This one I would not call a complete original, actually. My friend drew the face of Slash on a canvas, and then we just kind of stopped hanging out. So I decided to complete it. So I finished it up and I painted it up. I shaded it up. I don't even know if I think I used a reference picture, but I don't think my friend used I know my friend didn't use a reference picture when she drew it. So even though I used a reference picture for the shading and whatnot, I did not use one for the outline because I just stole it as a part of my collaboration. Her name is Kaylee Samper. Here's another old El Paso piece. One of my original 100 cats was an old El Paso painting. I did this painting. It was all done. That was all black down there. It didn't say old El Paso, but it had the cowboy, the sun, and the ombre of the orange to red in the background sky. And then my roommate said I should paint old El Paso on there, and it just cracked me up. So I did. It's the old El Paso painting. Maybe you could timestamp old El Paso and send him the link. And, yeah. I love you, old El Paso. Here's an 8x10 eye painted. I was gonna gift this to the Cincinnati Picker because I liked his YouTube channel. I haven't watched his video in some time. I liked it when he picked, well, I'd love to pick an old original Nintendo. It says Nintendo. Huh. Yeah, I don't really understand this. I don't even know if you'd appreciate this. If anybody knows the Cincinnati Picker, see if they could send him a timestamp. See if you'd want this. I was considering just sending this to him, but I never did. I don't really think because I'm not that proud of it. But look at that bench in the background. And a car? I never paint cars. And why is the sun so orange? These are the things we'll just never know. This one is particularly old. I think it was one of the first ones I did when my sister bought me some original art supplies and I started becoming an artist again as an adult. I would paint fruit just from memory, but then I would make it all bruised and dirty, give them eyes, and then I would make them cry bloody tears. But this one also is raining blood, just like Slayer. Bah! This is a 9x7. I am 100% sure I talked about this earlier in the video with one of my original 100 cats, but that was not the one I was talking about. This is a reproduction. Reproduction. I painted the same image. It was a crying pancake on a plate with a sad piece of bacon. You can see I made the bacon all peppery, and that's supposed to be a plate around it. I do not like the background color in this. If I were to, I might do this image again. I'm gonna go a little bit more or less ham on the background image, but I like the fork and the knife. This is another 9x7. This one has a butterfly on it with some native-like art on it, like the West Coast native art I was talking about. This is a butterfly I really like, and I've actually used this butterfly in other paintings. What's this here? Is that damage? Oh, that's some putty on it. I like the ombre of the one rock. The other rock is solid. I don't like the sun, but I love this image and I love the design. I love the little goofy smile on the real butterfly. Look at that goofy little smile. This one is a close-up of face of the sun smiling with with John Wayne's teeth. And it's got some native like designs around the eye. Even the rays of the sun kind of have that feel, even though it's so zoomed up. There really isn't a heck of a lot. There's like maybe under 5 pieces like this. I wish I felt confident enough to do more, or to go to school. Go to the free-easing school and learn. This is a sad pair. It was around that time I was making crying fruit, I think. No, this is much later. But I didn't make this one cry bloody tears. It's just regular sad. And it's got that quivering lip like I did on an earlier cat. But I also like the tone of the background. It's just kind of an abstract color. I could tell I just put a couple different colors on and swiped it around with the brush just a few times. But you know, the tubes of paint that I used were very nice. Nowadays I mix every color that I use. This is a 12x9. It was a part of a series when I was doing mashups. This one is a play on Jay and Silent Bob. It's Violent Jay and Silent Bob. I should do a Jay and Shaggy 2 Dope one next. I added the phrase 37 in a row, but I put Fago, which is the pop that the Insane Clown Posse like to drink. Also, the background that I used for this, I think I fabricated. I believe I had already painted the outlines of the character, and then I decided to make this effect, which I did in other paintings authentically, but this one I faked and just kind of traced. I had a little canvas. I could probably tell you how big it was. It was a 5x4, I think. And yeah, I just got some color around it and put it in the background. And you can see I wanted Violent J's face to pop more. I put some gray around his nose and his face. I was trying a lot harder on these. Another 12x9. This one's vertical. Another pour paint, but I believe on the background, you can barely see it, there's so much pour paint, is an authentic canvas that I used to paint on. Like when I had too much paint on my brush, I would use it to wipe it on this. Or when I was painting like the whole canvas, the little ones, I'd paint the edges, and the edges would go. Okay, Squanchy. This is 14 inches by 11 inches. I believe I painted this one black completely, and then got to work writing vulgar words. Some less vulgar, some factual, just words about anatomy. And then I added Bert Kreischer. I guess I was a fan, just learning about him at the time. I don't even follow him anymore. If I were to watch anything by him, it would be Two Bears, One Cave with Tom Segura. Really like that show when it first came out, but I didn't really keep watching it. Well, this is an authentic, it's just a piece of canvas I used as a desk, and it got a lot of paint on it. This big red smear here was not done by me. I had this tube of water-soluble oil paint, and my airbrush artist friend couldn't comprehend it. Such a thing. He's like, you know what they teach you in school? Oil and water don't mix. And sure enough, this oil paint mixed with water, and he had to rub it on something, so I handed him this. So that was Greg the Grinch Gislason. May he rest in peace. He passed away about a month ago. This is Cheap Trick live at Budokan, side 0. What a song. It has I Want You to Want Me as song 2 and Surrender as track 3. Pretty neat stuff. I had this awesome record and I just wrecked it and I glued it to this. I believe if you lifted up all the glue off all the paint, you can see I painted the background. It was kind of this red and orange background, and then I painted bars across it in 2 ways. I don't know if it really serves the final piece so well. This is another one of those pieces that was a workspace. You can see these big circles. That's about the size of a vinyl. I painted on vinyls. In fact, we will eventually be getting to that too. This is what I painted some of those on. This one didn't get as crazy as the last one I showed you that was like this. I don't know what to call these pieces. I really like them. I autographed this one. The last one I didn't sign. This one is an 8x8. It's an imagined scene, a winter scene. It's got a big old stain there. Looks like 2. A stain within a stain. That's because I don't really like this piece too much. My aunt, who hates me more than she hates herself, which is saying something, she commented on this back before I had to block her. And she said she really liked this one. It's the only piece of art she ever said she liked, and I don't know why. I think it's just because it's so plain, just like she was. I don't know what to say about this. I don't know how to describe it. Dark pastels is how I would describe it. I know how I did it. It was a regular canvas. I painted it completely black, and then I started painting these colors. I think they might have been neon colors, and they didn't really light up. They just kind of blended right into the background. That was Squanchy just zooming by. I hope you could hear that. And then, yeah, I signed it with a permanent marker, a Sharpie. I don't know if this one had my respect at any time. This one was one of those cursed canvases. I believe I took 4 or 5 stabs at this painting before I decided to stop trying. And it was very similar to the last one. There's a bowl of fruit. I think I was intending to making it really sad. There's moldy in parts. There's a big green spot on the orange. I don't think these were supposed to be healthy fruit. And then I just covered it all with these very lightly pigmented dollar store oils. Or not oils, acrylics. And then I think I wiped it off even too, so it's even more translucent. I can't really say this is a passion project, more of a make-work project, just keeping busy in my time. I don't know. It's a Tina Turner, What's Love Got to Do with It? And it's kind of a rainbowy background. I believe I was inspired by the inner ridge here of the vinyl itself and tried to follow along with it a little bit. And just seems pretty amateur hour. This one I'm not particularly proud of. This was a pitched album cover. I wanted to make an album for my friends Foes. They did this awesome... They did a live show, and I got the audio tracks of the recording, and I went through it, and I spent a lot of time making the tracks just perfect, and I was like, we should release it as a CD, and we never did. So, but I made this. Look, it's all dusty around the edges. It's a red apple crying bloody tears. It's got an orange background, got Garfield stripes. It's got a little worm hanging out of it, and I think that's watercolor tears still. I don't think I was doing anything. I wasn't watering down my acrylics or anything. I was actually using a different type of paint to get that effect that I wouldn't do now, and I don't even know if it's archivable. See how it's kind of brown around it? I don't know if it always looked like that. Maybe it did. This is an 11 by 14. Definitely pushing the limits of my table here. I like this one a lot. I believe that I did this one with acrylics. This is a dollar store. This has been one of the last ones. I started doing a thing where I kind of spackled black everywhere. I kind of like it. It's a little different. Very neat. This is a 12 by 16. It's one of those canvases that I used to wipe my brush on and paint it on over top of. And I think I might have glazed this one with a yellow glaze before I painted these cats. I also put a gel over top of a lot of these because another artist told me to. She even gave me the gel to do it with. But that created a sticky cover for it, and I put it, and I guess I didn't give it enough time to dry. So there's little white spots. These white spots here are not paint. That's little bits of cardboard from the other side. I'm sure it could be dealt with, but I'm not delting with it. Another 11 by 14 here. This one I really like. It has kind of octopus arms. I'm really a big fan of Jim Ether, and he went through a phase where he did a lot of octopus arms. He did a lot better quality than I did here. But I gave the cat weird teeth in this one. There's a lot of white spots all over this one. That is indeed as same as the other one, just pieces of cardboard from the back of another painting because I stored it too soon after putting on the glaze. This is a 9 by 12. It's Lionel Richie All Night Long, broken, and I glued it to a canvas I was painting on. It's just kind of this teal, light blue background with the blue circles painted around it and then white spots. And actually, it's actually kind of poorly painted. Yeah. But maybe that's just my artist critic of myself coming out. Got a 9 by 12 here. This one is, I don't know what the vinyl was. Just chunks of vinyl. Might even be several different vinyls, actually. I had a bag of broken vinyl pieces at one point in time. I think this and another piece I did earlier that kind of looked like a Pokemon were the only two pieces. It's just kind of like a red wash in the background, and I kind of made it kind of a flesh tone orangey on this side, and I painted it with other against the grain. Not much really to talk about here, but at the same time, I love it. Well, I see this, and this is an obvious example of less is more. I could tell I started this with a with a piece that I used as a background piece. And I only used it around the corners, as in the middle, I painted some space-like colors. I could tell it was with dollar store paints. And then, it looks like I spackled it right from then. Every kind of spackle. There's orange spackle, which is kind of transparent, some blue, which is more opaque, that white, which is really opaque, and it looks like then I did the letters before I spackled black around it. But I wrote sex around the borders, which, and then I wrote vagina and clitoris. This one speaks to me. This one is 12 inches long by 4 inches high. I believe it's the only one with that size of canvas that I've ever done at this point in time. And it's a very early one. I painted this. This is, my sister got me a bunch of painting supplies for Christmas one year. And I really started painting from there. And I haven't stopped. And this is one of those pieces. It's also inspired around the same time I had my grandfather's 8-track collection. And he listened to a lot of country, and I found one that was the best of the 40s. And I had to listen to it once before the 8-track player ate the tape. But one of the songs was Tex Ritter, Canadian artist. And it goes, smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. And that's pretty much the inspiration for this piece. I feel like I should redo this piece. I could really make the other two smokes pop a little more. But I'd probably paint a doobie cigarette instead of a marijuana doobie cigarette instead of a tobacco cigarette. This is another one of those pieces that just was the part of the table that I used to wipe my paintbrushes on. Hi, Squanchy. I'd get my paintbrush all loaded, ready to paint on the piece I'm painting on, but sometimes it would be too much paint, so I'd need to wipe it off. Really? I'll give you some pets. This one I didn't sign. Maybe I was planning to paint something on top of this. Might just be a piece as it is. I don't know. I wouldn't sign it now. So, it might just be a done dinger piece GP original. I guess I should have gave you a warning that this so much vulgarity. I don't think I could say a single word on here without getting demonetized. I say that like I'm monetized. I call this piece Crap Damn It Hell. And I was going through a phase when I painted this. You could tell all those pieces like this I painted together. They're not all stacked in order or anything. They kind of got shuffled around. In fact, those first 100 cats, if they weren't numbered, they would have been all shuffled around. They were all shuffled around. I had to unshuffle them around. It took forever. Another broken vinyl glued to a canvas. This one's April Wine from the album Nature of the Beast. I made sure, it's side 2, I made sure it was this side. Oh no, I didn't. I wanted it to be the other side, now I remember, but this side, the label ripped off nicer, and the other side was more ugly. But the other side had a sign of the Gypsy Queen. But you can't really control the way that you wreck a record. So much good music just thrown away for music, for art. This one was painted hastily. I guess I didn't really care too much about the brush strokes anymore when I painted this. I was going through a phase. This is based... This one has a story behind it. A real life experience. It was a nice one. It was very nice. This is another one of those earlier ones that my sister gave me a blank canvas. And this is what I painted on it. But I painted the trees and the orange and stuff, and I came back to it and I painted the gravestone in a freshly grown gravestone and the tire swing later on. But I was still using dollar store paints. I I don't think I would revisit this one again. I don't think I'd paint on it anymore. I think it's a done piece. A really early piece of GP. Sorry, it's kind of offset on screen right now. I didn't really want to change anything around, but there, you still kind of see it. There's some shadow on the top of it. Damn it. This one is a butt. It's supposed to be a woman's butt, but it came out very man-like. It's a 10 by 8 by 10, which is what I painted all those cats on. But this is a flat canvas. I don't really use these for my historic cat images. Yeah, I really like this one. Put a lot of work into the paint strokes. There's not really a lot of rhyme or reason for it. There's a lot of white. There's a lot of shading going on around, but there's a lot of hard edges that are... But I painted it all a prima, you could tell, even though it's acrylic. So some of the black got mixed in with the underground there. And I made it look like the butt was spanked, I think. That looks like a freshly spanked bootay if I've ever seen one. This is a part of the same one I painted last one, except I painted a cat face. It's a vagina. I think that's what they look like. And I just drew this, at least that's what I thought they looked like at the time when I painted it. I knew what a belly button looked like, a little hole there in the belly. But yeah, well, I should do more like these. I kind of like them. Actually, I think you'll see more like these a little bit later that I painted more recently. Ugh, yeah. This is a really good one. I like it. How big is it? 16 by 12, I think. Yeah. And it's a reproduction. I painted one exactly like this early on. And I gave it away. One of the few times I gave away a painting. I gave it away to a boss that I worked with at the liquor store. Just the manager. That yellow in the background is supposed to be like the lip of a bowl, and there's supposed to be a vase in the background. But I made the fruit rotten with bloody eyes, crying. Very ominous piece. Definitely was going for some style points there. Danky danky my hoo-ha. Or ha-hoo. My hoo. I think I shouldn't have put the W there. My roommate said that once, and it cracked me up. So I painted it on this white vinyl. And then, if you can see really close in the middle, there's a little smiley face with eyes. I think it kind of looks like a ghastly now that I think about it. But, that's vandalism. My same roommate who said that vandalized it with a pencil, and he got fired as a museum. This is a fun piece. This is an 8 by 10 board done very recently on acrylic. Oh, what is that? It's just a piece of fluff. As you can see, I painted this quite hastily. I was making a little 30-second video you could probably still find on my channel where Squanchy burps on my records. I can't remember what it's called, but I think it's called the Burp Incident. And yeah, I made a little animated Squanchy almost. But each picture is just a still picture and a painting. This is the first one I have taken out of a set of 3 paintings. This is the second out of 3. I did 2 separate shots, so you can see I even numbered them. 1 and 3. I even put a little dab of paint there, wiping it off to get a finer brush stroke. I'm gonna have to watch the video again after this. This is kind of just having some memories. This is a little bit how the magic is happening. This one is another 8 by 10, the last one. I believe this is the close-up of Squanchy burping. I really like it, with that tail in the background. His mouth is very... not black, fully. Hi, Squanchy. Do you hear me talking about you? He was sleeping over there, but I said his name so many times over the last minute talking about these paintings. He wants attention now. But, yeah, shout out to me. This is Well, whatever, this whole video is just a shout out to me. This one is a 4x4. I painted this with my roommates at a motel room when my parents came to town there visiting, and they just had some paints. I had my paints or something, or had paint supplies, and this little tiny canvas. I think this is going to be the tiniest one I'll show today, so it only gets bigger from here. Well, there's a lot more series of 8x10s. This is a 5x7, just a little playing around here with some colors. I really like it, actually. Some pastel colors on the forward shapes. And I think those are peanuts or turds on the side. I wonder which way this belongs. Et voila! It's me! It's a self-portrait. This is acrylic on canvas. I did this the same day I painted 6 other self-portraits. Well, all to various degrees. Some were in oils, some were in crayons. This one was someone's favorite, someone commented. I was in a hurry to do a lot of oils, or a lot of paintings, and a lot of oil paintings around that time, and it was nice to take a day off, but at the same time it was quite a hectic day painting all these self-portraits in one day. This is another self-portrait painted on the same day. This one was painted with watercolor. Not as successful as the last one. I don't know. I'm not really familiar with the medium of watercolor too well, so I did my best. It's definitely not an 8x10. I think it's a 8.5x11 piece of paper, watercolor paper, ripped in half because I used the other half on a marker. Hey, that gives me an idea. If I pull out this painting, will I see another self-portrait done with a Copic marker? Ta-da! It's the other half of the piece of paper. This one is a Copic marker creation. My first ever and only time. I had Copic markers for some reason. I still have them. Because I found them in a thrift store. There was a pack of 12 for $4, and I was just watching a YouTuber gush about Copic markers. Yeah, they're pretty nice. I don't think it's a medium I really wished to pursue, obviously. But yeah, I'm much more interested. If I wanted to pursue a medium right now, well, I'm working on several oil paintings, so I guess that settles that debate. And if I wanted to try something that wasn't an oil painting, it would be a digital painting. She's got tits of a walrus. I remember painting these canvases, these paintings. They are white. I painted, it would take a lot of dollar store paint to make it that opaque. And so it's just paint on paint on paint. And the she got tits of a walrus thing is something my roommate said. And this one's already priced. It was the Richmond High Fidelity, a production of London Polka Hits. This is just a paint pour. I believe I just had the dollar store paint and I dumped it out on this vinyl. It was called Johnny Cash Today, and it's just his greatest hits, and I kind of wrecked this vinyl. I was like, what? This is something I'd actually kind of listen to today. Another paint pour, nothing too much to say like before. This one's just, I think I tried to put some shapes in there, some stars you could see. Squanchy! Yeah, baby, where's my baby? Yeah. Still another paint pour. Not too much to say about these. I guess I was just into wrecking vinyls that day. Do we dare see what's in the back of this one? Fist! I painted this. My friends painted a song called Orange, Purple, Silver because nothing rhymes with any of these words. But obviously I painted these in the wrong colors. This is obviously painted silver, this is painted orange, and this is painted purple. That was really hard. I think I'm having a brain aneurysm now. And this is yet another paint pour, but this one is in the shape of a cat. This one I like a lot. And of course I put it on the most cat-like artist vinyl of any artist I have on vinyl. Peter Gabriel. Gotta go fast! I painted this after a memory I had from the Film Cow forums when somebody wanted Sonic art. So I opened up Paint and painted a Sonic very similar to this without the background. And then, so I wanted to recreate it. And it was around the time that that trailer dropped of Sonic. And it was a coincidence, really. But, yeah, it's supposed to be a little bit off. But it's actually kind of accurate. Except for the color of his chest and arms. It's very, very pink. This is part of a 2-part series of paintings where I laid it down. All these canvases that have these spackled backgrounds, when I say that I use them as a painting, I use them as 2. So there's usually a pair that goes with it, and I'll just go to the second one. I was having some self-esteem issues. Well, I still am. But, yeah, so let's see them both together, really. Not really too much to say about this. You are cute. Hey, you watching this, you're cute too. It's not just me, baby. Minus the writing on it. I think this is pretty close to how they were paired together. Like sometimes they're a little bit off. Some of them go together better, but yeah. Yeah, it was just a painting surface, and then I'd put a canvas on top of it, like this, and paint it, and wipe my brushes and stuff. We're having a grand old time. This one I wrote, I was doing streaming when I was painting and stuff on stream. And I put this in my background. I was trying to elicit some tips. Tips accepted. And no, you're not crazy. I did paint this backwards because my camera was flipped. It was like Triller. It was flipped. The background is kind of neat, but it was just a created one to make it look kind of splattered and painterly, and not really painterly, I would say, more kind of artistic swooshes, blah blah blah, 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 pointillism. This is a tremendously old one. Well, it has the date right there. 2012. It's year 2022 right now. Oh my lord. I painted this 10 years ago. I didn't fancy myself a artist at the time that I painted this, believe it or not. I believe this is actually marker on canvas for the most part. And there's a lot of white spots filled up. This was a digital painting. This is just a part of the process. Because I had it on digital, and then I projected it onto this, and I traced it. And yeah, and then I took a picture of it when it was all like this, and then I made it all extreme. I made all the whites extreme and all the blacks extreme. That's why I was able to submit it a second year. I submitted it in 2013 as well. But, yeah, it was never meant to be. This one is 12 by 16. It might actually be watercolor on canvas board. Very much incomplete. I don't know why I kept trying to paint fruit bowls. Maybe it was because I'm somewhat of a fruit myself. Self-burn. Yeah, I guess there's a guy committing suicide in this one. I think it's a pretty clever painting, but pretty morbid. And yeah, I guess it's one of my works in progresses that never got to be. This is Ant-Man. It's my artistic interpretation of Ant-Man. I got a coloring book of the Avengers, and I did several paintings on them, on the paper itself, because it was a play on one of those videos, professional artist draws in coloring book. You could just hear it's so stupid, but then you clicked on it and it's just so stupid. So mine's extremely stupid. But anyway, I painted acrylic on the background, and then I painted oil on top. And I painted 6 paintings, I believe, of the Avengers, and this is Ant-Man. I guess this images really make sense with the multiverse happening. This is Thor. You could actually kind of make out his hammer a little bit. It's a little cubism a little bit, kind of, with the off-centered eyes. But for the most part, it's just absolute genius spilt in paint form on a coloring book. This is Iron Man. It's pretty much a close-up of his face. I felt like you really wanted to see how he was feeling, and in the Avengers, he's often in these tight positions that leave him a little frazzled. And I think that is the word I'm going to leave you with this painting. That's the word of the painting, frazzled. This is Captain America. It looks a little bit like it's a black version of Captain America, but it's almost stereotypically black with the big lips. It's almost racist. This is a racist image, but it's not really intended to be racist. It's also a female. There's also some very female features going on here. This is just another alternate universe of Captain America. A very brutish but lovable lady. We just want to save America. This is the Black Panther. Much respect. It was a great film. I didn't really understand much, and I was pretty stoned when I watched it. But I'd watch it again. But I like to watch things I've already watched. That's a part of who I am. I also like to take long walks on the beach, like to hold hands, and I like licking. I set myself up for the worst possible way in this picture, but anyway, I don't like licking penises. And this is my interpretation of the Hulk. He's just a big green dick. That's all I'm saying. This is kind of folded up a little weird, but this is, I think it's oil paint, actually. When I was done with my oil paints for a while, I didn't know what to do with the leftover oil paint. And I had this is canvas paper, I think it's called. So, I think I made some Rorschach tests. What do you see? I see a pelvic bone upside down. This is yet another one. This is kind of a neat idea, actually. Good use of my leftover paint. I'm pretty sure it's oil paint. And I pushed it together for like a day, and then I let it open and left it open and let it dry for weeks. And when I store this, I fold it up. I was planning on cutting these in half, potentially. Hi, Squanchy. Really? Do you want some pets? No, you don't want some pets? Are you hungry? No, do you want to play? You want to play? You do want to play? Oh, excuse me, I gotta go play with Squanchy. This one's really neat. I think this is really saying the less is more. I think I see a lot more stuff into this. In the first one, that second one was a little hectic. Well, if you made it this far in the video, congratulations. It's been a little while, a couple months since I was working on it. I got less interested in archiving my content like I was, and more interested in creating content. I created a TikTok called How Number 2 Paint Cats GP. And that's also my handle on Instagram and Twitter. But I dress up like a cat and I paint cats. It's been a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun. A few of my TikToks went off. Got 20,000 views. Hola. Last time one of my videos got that kind of views was pedo. A person we don't want to talk about. He committed suicide. He was a legend in Prince George. Anyway, I didn't like that subject too much, and it pissed me off, and the reason why I made the video was because there was an embargo. No one was allowed to talk about him. He worked for the prominent radio stations, and there was no obituaries about him. I wasn't even sure if he was really dead. The only kind of obituaries I found about him were these really obscure websites, and there were communities in Prince George on Facebook, WTF Prince George, where they weren't allowing anybody to talk about it. And yeah, that page sucks now. I unfollowed it, mostly because I don't live in Prince George, but it just became memes. It's just like, what are you trying to become, a Reddit thread? This is about Prince George, man. We're supposed to be about communities here, and what the fucking... So, I don't know. I guess you could see right here is a mirror. Right here is a light. I got a new light, so my videos will have a little bit better quality. I don't have any good audio set up, but it's so late in the video, and for the rest of the video I didn't care about the audio anyway. I'm just using the camera audio. I apologize, and I thank you so much for watching. I'm going to show 20 more pieces of art. Things that have been... 15 pieces of art that are hanging on my wall that I've created recently. And I'm going to show 5 pieces of work from my sketchbooks. And I have 5 sketchbooks on the go, and I use them to acrylic paint in them. But before we get that, I gotta paint my face, because I'm making some TikToks today. I'm kind of embarrassed about showing this process, but I think it might be important to document it, because early on things are different. I would love to get some face paint, but I don't, or some makeup, but my I don't have any money, and I have paint. So I did some skin tests with my acrylic paint. They don't stain, they washed off, so I did it on my face, and so far so good. So here we go. This is what I do. I find that this red color that's a little more blue tinted works pretty good for my eyes. I tried a few different colors. I haven't tried purple yet. I might as well. I gotta try every color of the rainbow. And yeah, I just fill in my eyes like this. My end goal is to look like a cat, mind you. And I just use my finger. And then now on my palette, which you can't see, I'm mixing that red with some white. And I'll just put it right on my nose. I know I announced the death of GP, but I think I'm still going to be making some videos. I'm just taking a little bit of a break from my channel. Well, obviously, I'm making this one. This one has been a long time in the making, and mostly because I just haven't been working on it that much. Now this is the lips time. Just put it on like a fool. Doesn't really matter. In fact, this upper lip is mostly covered by my mustache anyway. Alright, I'm almost done here. For the next part, I'm grabbing a smaller paintbrush, and I go into my black and watering it down a lot. And I'm just going to go over my eyebrows. And then go down and follow this line, and then twist it up at the end. I don't know if you can see. It doesn't really matter. It's for the TikTok. So that's funny, I'm getting all dressed up, and the next step I'm going to make is to finish. I'm going to spend like 20 minutes talking about a few more paintings. Ones I didn't really intend to for this painting. They're just... The biggest reason why I'm finishing up this video now is, I need the hard drive space, man. Oh, don't forget the whiskers. I have a note written down everywhere. I've been forgetting my whiskers for my TikToks. I'm like, I don't quite look like a cat yet. And then I just remember I have my ears to do, but... Yeah, I usually just do 2 for my face. And there we go. And here is the piece de la resistance. My little... They're meant for a little girl. It's what I got in the house. My mom had them, so... And there you go. I'm a cat. I'm ready to TikTok. And I also have my other YouTube channel, How to Paint Cats. Go find it and follow me there. Subscribe and watch it for an hour. Videos. They're only 10 to 20 minutes long. You're going to have to watch a couple of them to watch it for an hour, but... And then, yeah, subscribe. Then tell your friend to go watch all of them. You don't have to, but at least as long as you watch an hour and then your friend watches all of my videos, then we'll be okay. So anyway, let's finish up this video with a bang. Some new pieces, big and small, mostly small. Cats. Okay, so here's the order I'm going to do. We're going to do the 15 paintings. I'm going to show my abstract kind of faces first. There's a couple. Then I'm going to show my realistic faces. And then I'm going to show my cat faces. And then we're going to go back to cats. And then we'll take a look at my notebooks. Let's go. Well, here we are. This is the newest piece of art. Well, to say I painted tons in my notebooks. But I was doing this style. And I kind of liked it, so I was like, I better do one on canvas. And I had a few canvases laying around, so I grabbed this. Because my work on canvases is a lot different than this. But here we go. Alright, this painting, the one in the middle is the one I'm talking about. A little sneak peek at some other ones. But this is one I worked on a little bit for a couple of days. Over a period of a couple of weeks. But, a little bit of a Picasso reference there with the face in the foreground, but the background face is a bit abstract too, I guess. I have no idea how I'm painting or what I'm painting, or, yeah, that's kind of thing. It's just like, is this even good? Is this even good? Am I wasting my time? Or is this a stepping stone to greatness? Or am I going in the wrong direction? I don't know. I have to go to the next room to look at the realistic faces because I don't have them hanging up in my bedroom. This is my friend Sammy Penrod. He was on Facebook. He's like, hey, is anybody going to Walmart? And I was going to Walmart later the next day or something. But I'm like, yeah, but I'm in Canada. And he lives in Texas, I believe. I'm a big fan of him. He used to be the second man in Robert Benford, aka Knox's Corners videos. I don't like Knox's Corner or Robert Benford anymore. I wouldn't paint a portrait of him. But I fucking love Sammy Penrod. One of the greatest human beings of all time. Just a delight. So anyway, I asked him for a picture. And I said just a somber picture looking straight into the camera kind of thing. And serious. He sent me one and it was like a zoomed up close of his face. I'm like, I want your whole head. And he sent me it. And so I just worked on this on my own time. You probably saw this one coming. This is Al Pacino. I believe it's a screen grab from the Oscars when he was presenting an award. And one of my frequent commenters on my videos, he goes by Tony Montana. He's like, you should paint Al Pacino. And I was like, that is a brilliant idea. And I wasn't doing anything at the time. And I had all this new paint. So I busted out my paints and I painted Al Pacino. I filmed the process of this, and I I wrote an opening line to a script called Scarface 2, and then I let an AI generator finish it, and I posted it on my YouTube. It's one of my newest videos you could go watch right now, before it's unlisted, when I rebrand myself as a tap dancer. This is YouTuber Danny Gonzalez, what he would look like as a cat. I imagined him as a calico. I found out later that calicos are only females, and I fucked up, but it's beautiful anyway. And yeah, I like him a lot. It feels weird talking about these later paintings, so but I guess that's how the video started and how the video is ending. It's kind of like we go from what we're painting now to like 10 years ago to like right now again. And when I'm sure in the next 6 months when I release part 2, we'll be just divulging. I don't know what we'll be doing, but I'll probably be doing my 16 by 20s. I got about 50 16 by 20 frames painted up. We'll go through that. Anyway, next painting. This is YouTuber I Did a Thing. As a cat, I tried to make him a black cat. It kind of comes out a little bit gray. It's pretty hard to paint a black cat. He fought in the creator clash. I spent my entire life savings and betted on him, and he won. The odds weren't so great. They were 1.5 to 1. So my life savings, which was like $20, they gave me $30. So I made $10, but you know, $10 is $10. I paint these on TikTok. These videos are available online on TikTok at how to paint cats GP. YouTuber Curtis Connor, reactionary YouTuber. He is the other, out of these 4 portraits that I have currently painted, his popped off. I'll be painting Lizzo next, I think, as a cat. Just to coincide with another TikTok that I'm filming today, actually. If it turns out really good, I'll be filming my how Lizzo looks like as a cat. Curtis Connor is so fucking awesome. He's seen my TikTok. He replied to a comment on one of my TikToks and said, hell yeah. And, hell yeah, brother. YouTuber Ela Klein. I painted her like a calico. I wanted to have a female as a calico. I didn't actually I think this TikTok didn't pop off, but I think it's because I didn't delve too deep into what kind of cat she was and why. So with Lizzo, I'm going to think really hard before I lay paint on canvas. But yeah, these are all my TikToks. They're the only ones that I have, like 20 TikToks as of recording this, and each one has a painting, I think. Let me think. Yeah, I'm about to release my first one today that doesn't have a painting, my first dance TikTok. And they're in paper, so I can't really afford a canvas every time. They're like $2 a piece, baby. These are nice canvases. But I guess if you want the art to last the test of time, you gotta pay the price. And you gotta get those artistic acrylics. I want to get artist grade acrylic paint, but I have to be a success first and make some money before I can spend it. I'm spending it in my head before it's even in my pocket. let's move on to a cat. This cat here was painted for the first installment of my second YouTube channel. Official second YouTube channel, finally. Not just a placeholder account. I'm posting content on there weekly. And I'm painting cats like this. And it's fucking awesome, man. Look at this. I've never painted so great in my life. I can't believe I had this in me this whole time, and I was just unable to express it before. But god damn, am I something special. This is episode 1. I'll show you what I painted on episode 2. This is the painting I painted for the second installment. I wanted it to have 2 in the title, so I put how to paint 2 cats. This one's a little bit bigger. The last couple paintings were 8x10s. This one is a 12x16. And what do you know, man? I fucking did it. I outdid myself. I didn't think it was possible. The first painting was absolutely perfect, but what do you know, man? There's something, I invented something new. More perfect. Beyond perfect. Like, I don't know. There's 6 episodes. As I film this, I try to release this video pretty soon as to releasing the 6th installment of this, but you can't just keep going up forever. This is what I painted for installment 3 of How to Paint Cats. The title of this was How to Paint a Blue Cat. And it's a bit controversial because cats aren't blue, and my cats are generally red these days. So, people on TikTok, I had a commenter ask me, why do I only paint red cats? And I kind of feel like I threw them a curveball on my YouTube. Luckily, this isn't on my TikTok. I'd feel too embarrassed. Maybe this will be the first installment of my show I will block, unlist, paint a blue cat. Yeah, right, that's almost as silly as me painting a dog. Can you imagine? Painting a dog? Oh my god. Whew. A fucking dog. You know, fucking dog. Okay, I had a 15-minute break. This is a dog. A painting from episode 5, I think. Let me think. I gotta recount these. 3, 4. Okay, this is 5. I painted this painting backwards. I started off with the white dots of paint, those big dots, and then I painted the... And this is my newest installment. I painted this cat upside down, and then I flipped it over, and this is what it looks like. This is not what it looked like when I was painting it, but goddamn, it's pretty funny. Not as funny as painting a dog. Painting a dog. Yeah, you paint cats. You paint cats. Okay, I think I'm There's only one painting left. You can go. Shit, there's my shadow. That's the last one. This one I painted before I started painting all these cats a while back. I was painting these cats in my notebook. It was before I even had the idea of a TikTok. And I like it. I like all these cats. They all have a name. Oh my god. I gotta... Dog. Well, there you have it. That's what I'm calling the video now. It's over. It's been too long. We're gonna paint a dog. Fuck. We're not gonna paint. We're never. You got that right? I will fucking die before I paint a motherfucking dog. Bonus content! Bonus content! I didn't even bother setting up the camera right. I forgot to do the 5 pages thing. So this is what I painted yesterday in this notebook. I said I'd show 5, but I painted more than 5 paintings yesterday in my 5 notebooks. Pretty cool, huh? I also painted this yesterday, May 18th. It's May 19th as I work on this. Pretty neat bonus content. 5 additional paintings. But no, there's 5 additional books, all from May 18th. I don't paint like this every day, but every 3rd day, it seems, I paint multiple paintings. So those are the 3 paintings from the first book, all untitled. They're just notebooks. This is what I'm going to paint today. Just kidding. May 18th from this book. I think all of them have 2, so we're going to at least 10. These are all acrylic on paper. Just from a dollar store notebook because it's the cheapest thing. It costs $4 and you get 80 fucking pages to paint on. Here's the first cat. I painted this on May 18th. Only 2 in this book. Only painted 2. There was 3 in the last one. It was getting a little crazy. I must have had a bit of paint left over on my palette and I had to use it up, so I painted shit. Alright. Let's go. I used to have 3 notebooks. I picked up another 2 because they're getting close to halfway done. And I think I'm going to go up to 7 because it seems that the worst part is I finished 5 paintings and I have to wait to see which one is dry first. So that's May 18th. This is also May 18th. This one's pretty good. I think it's a face. I'm pretty sure it's a face. I'm the one who made it. I just realized these paintings are in the corner. These are paintings I've painted since... Let's not even get into that. Oh, that one was cool though. Look at this. It's a fucking cat car. Anyway, those are all on canvases. But that's for the next installment, I guess. Oh, those are done. Book number 4, May 18th, 2022. This is what I painted. I wrote love. I don't normally write words. I tried it a few times, but it's distracting to the artwork. People want to read the words instead of look at the picture. Look at that. It's a fucking awesome picture. Who cares about love when you got that, baby? Bonus content, bonus content, bonus content, bonus content. Whoa, baby. Some of these kind of freak me out, you know. I painted them, but I don't even know. I feel like I'm showing you my diaries, but like, who has 5 diaries? This is the last thing I painted last night. I had a lot of red paint on my palette, no white, so I used yellow for the eyes and made, I guess there was a little bit of white, because that kind of looks like pink on the nose, but it's mostly yellow. May 18th, this is the last one! This is the last one. It's another face. It has some words up there. What do they say? Brown noise, whale sound, rain. Just some notes. And then sometimes I write notes in pencil and then paint over top of it. And then there's these 4 symbols down there. I'm not explaining my art. And there, I guess I just spent like 2.5 hours explaining my art, however long this video is. This is a... self-portrait I'm working on. I'm fucking painting all the time. I'm trying to wrap up this video, but I'm finding more art. I'm trying to archive it in this video. Yeah, right. I did so little. Now people are going to want me to paint dogs. And fuck. What a depressing thought.